Speaker, this is a flow-on question from my question to the good Treasurer with respect to devaluation of the kina and how the country can increase its FX reserves. In the Treasurer's response, he highlighted that once we get a final investment decision on some of these big projects that are in the pipeline, then we will be in a position to increase FX reserves. So my question to the good Minister, Deputy Speaker, is, since 2019, we have been announcing that Papua LNG FID will take place in 2020, then in 2022, then in 2023, then in 2024, and now it's 2026. 6 years on, there is no FID for Papua LNG. So my question, Deputy Speaker, is if the good Minister can clearly tell the Honourable House and the people of Papua New Guinea, when can we expect the FID, the final investment decision for Papua LNG, to take place? What are the hurdles that are preventing us from expediting this process? And thirdly, and which raises a bit of a concern, Deputy Speaker, is what is the status of the business development grants that was given to the people of Gulf and Central? So these are my three questions to the good Minister for him to clearly tell this Honourable House and the people of Papua New Guinea. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Minister for Petroleum.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I'd like to thank the good opposition leader for his question. I also like to congratulate him on his elevation to the opposition leadership and also to the deputy opposition leader. Two fine young men in the first term have reached that position. Congratulate both of them. In relation to Papua LNG, it's as I said, it's quite a difficult project. We, as on the government side, and through the support of the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, we are pushing the developer, Total Energy as the operator, and its joint venture partners to get an FID. And it's not as easy as it looks like, because we are dealing with the developer, and also the developer is also working with the banks to try to secure finance. From the latest status I can give to the country, announce to the country, is that meeting with Total Energy as the operator, they have given us some dates. The last time they gave dates was the first quarter of this year, 2026, that we might look at FID. Unfortunately, that has passed, and because of finance issue, and that's totally out of the control of even the partners of the partners of Papua LNG, because they're dealing with most of what they call export credit agency to fund this project. And as I indicated in my last discussion and my last report to Parliament, was that we, as this project was going on, and when it was signed up, there were some delays in the project. The first delay was that I think when the government changed after the contract was signed, there was some issues about trying to review the particular project agreement. Unfortunately, that didn't occur because Total stood its position under the signed contract and didn't want to move from there. But the government at that time, the new government, did get some clawback and did do some progress. And unfortunately, we had that COVID incident. COVID period came into the country, and that delayed the project further. And by the time the good Prime Minister and the government went to see Total Energy, and we negotiated, try to get them to put the project back onto tender, and they went out to tender, but the cost of the project blew out to about $18 billion. So substantial blowout. So they had to relook at the bidding process, and I'd like to thank Total for that, as operators and the joint venture partners, and they restricted the tender process to mainly the Asian contractors, China, Korea, and Japan, and that reduced the price. Now they've got a final figure of around $14.5 billion USD to do this project. Unfortunately, when they signed the contract, the project price was about $11.9 billion USD. And now we've got 14.5. So the project proponents have come back to the government, asked the government to assist them in some tax incentives to try to claw back the price between 12 billion to 14.5. So a gap between about 2.5 billion USD. So we've been negotiating with Total non-stop. The government hasn't gone to sleep on this one. We've been at their back all the time trying to get them to get FID. We've been talking to them constantly, and we're trying to, at the moment now, we've bridged the gap. So we as a government, at the moment I cannot say in public because it has to go back to Cabinet for discussion and approval, but the government has decided we will give them some assistance. We will give them some assistance to make sure that this project happens. So there's a difference of, as I said, 12 billion, 14.5. We've been looking at about an assistance of about, I don't know at the moment. It's subject to NEC's wisdom, but we will come to some arrangement and we will make sure this project gets off the ground this year. So that I can assure you. So let me put it on record that we as a government, we're trying our best to get FID sometimes this year. And as I said, it is not in the power of the government. The government can only rely upon the developer and the financiers of the project. And the financiers, as I said, they're all export credit agency, which are government banks. Government banks between Japan, Korea, China. The US is included in this consortium of banks looking at funding this project. In principle, the operator tells me that finance has been secured, in principle. But now they're going through the process. And I can only rely on the developer and the operator telling me that. So that's where we stand on the FID. As to the hurdles, as I encompass in my answer to you, Deputy Speaker, the hurdles are the financing and the project cost blowout, and they're looking for the government to assist them in this regard, the operators. The BDG, the third question to my good opposition leader is the business development grant given to the provincial government. I don't have visibility on that because those payments were made directly to Gulf provincial government and the central provincial government, and I will get some information from them, and I can let the good can answer this question in another during this week. I will seek Deputy Opposition. Deputy Speaker, I'll get you leave from me to answer the question to find out where those monies and how they spend it in the respective provincial governments. Thank you.
Supplementary, Deputy Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. My quick supplementary to the good Minister for Petroleum is this. At the moment and currently for the last 3 weeks, there's been a war that's broken out in the Middle East between America, Israel on one side, and Iran. Mr. Speaker, the Hormuz Passage, which transports a lot of this petroleum and gas goods, are now restrained. And with this war at the backdrop, can I ask of the real prospects of FID, firstly, the real prospects of the development forum being pushed forward expeditiously, and the FID that's been discussed being a real achievable and tangible delivery in this fiscal year. That is because at the moment, because of the war, owing to the war, the oil prices are astronomically escalated. What is the strategy of the government to take advantage of these price changes? And what is the immediate and urgent strategy of the government to act promptly and swiftly to take advantage of FID as soon as possible and practicable? Thank you.
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and I'd also like to thank the good Deputy Opposition Leader for this question. In relation to the war in Iran and in Middle East at the moment, it's affected a lot of countries as to the supply of oil and gas to those respective oil countries around the world. As we can see, prices have shot up substantially, over $100 in the last 2 to 3 weeks now, and we don't see any foresight, the clearance of the war going forward. The strategy the government has is we only can rely upon the suppliers currently that import oil into PNG. And these are the companies that we know is Puma and Exxon Mobil, and including Total Energy. And I've asked them to give me a report on the next plan, how they will, the three respective importers of oil and gas into, mainly petrol stocks and the petrol imports and Jet A1 fuel into the country. I'm waiting for a report from all three of them, Puma, Exxon Mobil, and Total Energy, and they will file a report to let me know how much import they can bring into stockpile in the country for the next 2 to 3 months. And that report is forthcoming. And National Petroleum Authority is working closely with them to ensure that we don't have a short supply of those petroleum products in the country due to the war in the Middle East. And it's out of our control at the moment. We can rely upon them. Our biggest concern in Papua New Guinea is our storage facility, because Puma is the only one who has the biggest storage facility, and they're the biggest importer. But we also, to let Papua New Guinea know, our national mining companies like Octedi, they've also assisted and come in to assist the country in those times. So I can only rely upon those importers of those fuel to give us a good stockpile to reserves for within 2 to 3 months in the country. So I will be getting a report sometime this week, and once again I could table that in Parliament if Deputy Speaker can allow me, to give us comfort in this country.
Honourable members, we have a supplementary member for Yalibu Pangia. Honourable member for Yalibu Pangia, once again I'd like to remind the House, I'll be now listening very well on your supplementaries, because some of the supplementaries is like new questions, like the one that I've just entertained now. We were going out of the country to answer a question as supplementary on it. So I'll be listening very carefully on every supplementary question. So if I see that you are out of the content of the question, I will rule your supplementary questions out. So, Honourable Member for Yalibu.
Thank you.
I will not start at you, but I will hear from you.
That's okay. You can start with me. It's okay. That's fine. But Mr. Deputy Speaker, and my supplementary to the good minister is in relation to Total and this project, and in relation to what he has just stated. Mr. Speaker, this project signed in 2018, that is 2019, that is 7 years ago. If we had stuck to the original agreements, we should be in production today. But unfortunately, the government decided to review the contract and said that they have clawed back some benefits. That's what the minister has just stated. And the minister stated quite clearly that he wants to do a ministerial statement to this Honourable House this week. I would like to put it to the minister that he tells us what are the clawback benefits that this government has negotiated clearly to the nation. Because the government has decided to review this contract. We have missed opportunity to develop this major project for the country as a whole. And as a result, the economy and many contractors who have been trying to do business with this particular project have either moved on or costs have escalated, so they've abandoned the project, Mr. Speaker. That's one question. First question. Second question, Mr. Speaker, is the minister himself stated clearly today that the cost of the project will be about $14.5 billion US dollars. And he has also indicated today that the cost was supposed to be $11 billion US dollars. And obviously, the minister has alluded to the fact that he will go to cabinet with a submission to try and accommodate this new arrangement with Total, which, in my thinking, it means that we will be either sacrificing $3.5 billion US dollars to try and accommodate this project. Now, if we are going to give further concessions, Mr. Speaker, my question to the minister, of up to 3.5 billion kina to the project, what are the benefits is this nation going to receive because of that sacrifice that we are going to make, Mr. Speaker? Because if we make comparisons to 11 billion kina US dollar project in 2019, that means we are funding almost over 1/3 of the cost of the project ourselves. So what is the benefit to the nation? That is my second question, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, the third question, just alluding to the minister's own reply earlier, he said that Puma is the only storage capacity in the country. Can he confirm that Puma is now in negotiation? Is this the same Puma that many of you in government were trying to to try and talk about money laundering issues with the Bank of Papua New Guinea. I think it must be a different Puma that I'm thinking about. But anyway, if it's the same Puma, I am told that, Mr. Speaker, that they are in negotiations to sell the storage facility to the United States government. And the United States government has got a defense force agreement with our government in this country. Is there no other places in this country where we can build new storage facilities? Is this the only one in the country that we have to sell? So, Mr. Speaker, can he confirm or deny that these are some of the negotiations that are taking place in this country? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Minister of Petroleum.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. And once again, I'd like to thank the good member for Yalibu Pange for his good questions. Yes, I can agree that the agreement was signed. The first question is, it was signed 7 years ago. That's correct. And I think the good member for Yalibu Pange was the main instrumental guy in negotiating that contract with Total during that time. Personally, I was not here in the government at the time in representing my people of Westala, but I think he personally negotiated that agreement with Total, so he's very familiar with it. But as I indicated, I said 11.9 billion was the contract at the time. The contract was signed, it was 11.9 billion, around that figure, going to 12. So now they've come back to us and asked us to assist them with this amount of money. It's not 3.5 billion. I think it's much less than that, Deputy Speaker. So these are not finalized figures. We're still in negotiation, and it'll be at the wisdom of Cabinet to approve that amount, but it's far more less than 3.5 billion we're assisting this Papua LNG project. That's to answer the first question. Secondly, about the benefits we clawed back. I'll have to look into that, because I was during that time I didn't review this agreement, which was, I think, done by my predecessor, Honourable Member for Sinisina Yogumu. So he tried to claw back those benefits, and I don't know what happened there, but if for hindsight I can get that and present that to Parliament in my speech during the week. The third question is Puma. Puma, I think that's the same Puma. That's the same Puma, member for Yalibu Pange. I mean, there's only one Puma in Papua New Guinea. So I don't do business in the private sector a lot these days, because I'm really totally full-time in government issues. So I don't know whether the US government is negotiating with Puma. I don't know that. It could be bar talk, or I don't know where they get that information, but it hasn't come across my table as a Minister for Petroleum. So I don't know whether the sale is going forward, or this negotiation that I can't confirm to the people of Papua New Guinea in this Honourable House. The third, I think that's the three issues that was brought up by Honourable Member for Yalibu Pange. Thank you.
I'll take one supplementary from the government side. I'll get the Honourable Governor for NCD.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Supplementary question, me. I think before me like asking question, you go along Energy Minister, but since question you go along Petroleum Minister, I could just ask it a supplementary question. My question basically, me also, Mr. Deputy Speaker. When I'm long-term plan, you mean governments long deal with this problem of fuel. You may got long-term plan or not? Are we going to wait until crisis come up? Now you may respond to crisis. So. But you may got refinery blow you may yet. If Puma in a walk, there is no deal. But you may got refinery blow you may yet, or but you may continue like some refine product from Singapore, and then you may affected by all this global type of crisis, war come up, prices go up and down.
Honourable Governor.
Yeah, I think.
Honourable Governor, I think I made my statement clear, and I can head it. The no, supplementary question is.
Supplementary. It's follow up from member for Hiri Koyari.
Honourable Member, Honourable Governor, I will rule that supplementary question out of order.
Okay. Maybe I can ask as a separate question.
The Honourable Member for North Bougainville.
Thank you.